everyone, it's me, Julian Greystoke, and we're here for another spooky-themed video. We still have Spider, we still have Nigel, and we still have my candle, which is scented like pumpkin buttercream latte. So very spooky. I have my zombie crossing shirt, and I forgot to show you guys in the last video, but I also have these spooky Halloween leggings. They're very soft. And so we are 100% ready to go for these spooky topics. The whole last video I was filming, if you guys watched the one, the Pet Cemetery one, Nigel was constantly in danger of falling off the arm of this chair. He has finally fallen. Nigel has fallen. He's back. It's right here. But he fell. I'm covered in his hair. It's great. It's great. I love it. It's great. Hi, buddy. Today, this is going to be a super random video. I didn't even write down any notes. Get my notebook out of here because it's not going to help me. I was talking on Twitter to Laura from Trope Trinity Trilogy. Go check out her channel. It's really fun. And we were talking about zombie things because she is working on a zombie story. And she wasn't as familiar with like many of the zombie tropes that you see in so much zombie fiction. And she was like, you know, it'd be cool if you did a video about zombie tropes. And I was like, you know, you're not wrong. Hey guys, this is the world's fastest reminder that you can support me on Patreon and see all kinds of exclusive videos like these ones. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. I love zombie stories. I wrote my own. It's called Phoenix. It's a novella and it is available on Amazon. I wrote it quite a while ago, so I hope you'll forgive younger me's writing, but I still think it's a fun book. Just to enjoy, especially if you also love zombie stories. I know zombies are uncool right now, but I don't care, because I love them. If you truly love something with your heart, it doesn't matter if it's uncool. I do want to warn anybody who is writing a zombie story right now. I will not tell you to stop because zombie stories are beautiful and the world needs as many of them as possible, but zombies are a dead genre, so pun intended, they are a dead genre, so you are probably not going to get your zombie story published unless you are already established and your agent knows that they can sell it. Like, I would not query a zombie story right now. However, if you want to self-publish them, go you! If you have a zombie story that you have self-published or whatever, please let me know, because I probably want to read it. People who are not as familiar with zombie stories might not know all of the great tropes that come along with it. Zombie fiction is a very, very tropey type of fiction. And you might be thinking, why would I want to get into that? Everyone says not to use tropes. Tropes are stupid. No, well, my friends, as I have said many, many times before, tropes are tropes for a reason. And if you like those tropes, it is your jam. And most of the zombie tropes out there, if they are done well, are totally where it's at for me. So if you are writing zombie fiction, definitely knowing the tropes and being able to use them well is going to be important. The first thing I want to talk about is why zombies. A lot of people say that zombies are their least favorite horror creature. Some people like vampires, some people like werewolves, but I'm a zombie girl myself. What do zombies do for your fiction? The thing about zombies is they often stand in for any world disaster or national disaster or small town disaster. Zombies could almost be replaced with a mudslide, a hurricane, a tornado, anything that could come in and destroy your life and kind of ruin the way the world is governed. You could lose power, you can lose communication, all of that stuff. So why use zombies instead of some other disaster? Well, because zombies have an added bonus. Not only are they creepy as hell, but they look like people. And that's where you get the extra layer with zombies that I love so much. Because not only do you have this disaster, but you have this constant oncoming threat that's wearing a human face that looks like your mother, that looks like your sister, that looks like your boss. And that added level, I think really for me, is what cements zombies as one of my favorite monsters, because they have utility and they also have that extra level of having been human. So let's talk zombie tropes, and I'm just going to go through a bunch that I know and talk about how they can be used and how they are used in zombie fiction. Hopefully we'll get them all because, as I said, I didn't write any of this down in my notebook because I'm a failure because of who I am as a person. One of the biggest zombie tropes is that zombies are slow moving. They shamble, they shuffle. They are much more dangerous because they come in large groups and hordes and are relentless versus being able to hunt you speedily and well on their own. Zombies are an ever-present, slowly building threat. And that makes for some great low-level dread, which is something I like in my horror-type books. Dread is like my favorite type of horror. But that doesn't mean you can't have different types of zombies, so I really encourage you to play with it. Because I have seen also fast zombies, and zombies that are a little bit human. Some people have done with zombies that they can still kind of communicate. Some people have done tool using zombies. So you can play around with the type of zombie that you have. The most important thing is that they are no longer human. They are transformed from what they were to something far less intelligent, but also far more menacing, because zombies usually cannot be hurt and cannot be killed in any other way except for shooting them in the head. The shooting them in the head thing is pretty universal because it makes zombies an even more ominous threat. How terrifying is something that you can chop to little bits and it's still trying to get you? You can have a zombie that's just a head and it will still be trying to chomp its way towards you. The next most common trope is the zombie infection. How are people transformed into zombies? The way that people are transformed into zombies really gives you a clue into what we as a nation or as a planet are currently afraid of. For a long time we were afraid of like things we didn't understand, so we had a lot of voodoo zombies with like magic from other places, and this is mostly in the US I'm talking about now. And we were also afraid of like radiation. There's radiation zombies. Nowadays the most common thing that causes zombies is viruses. The virus zombie has been around for quite a long time. And while we don't have a definitive answer as to what the Walking Dead zombies are caused by, it might be aliens. But any way you slice it, what causes the zombies can say a lot about what we fear in the world. Also, how do the zombies spread? The most common trope is to spread through a scratch or a bite. Oftentimes just a bite. The zombie's saliva and blood is the thing that carries the contagion, kind of no matter what type of zombie they are. However, in some zombie fiction, such as The Walking Dead, if you die of anything, you will become a zombie. Everyone is infected, so everyone can become a zombie. And if they are bitten, it expedites the process. Why the bite, though? I think because the bite is such a visceral and inhuman thing. Here comes this person who looks like your friend. He is trying to bite you as though he is an animal. Also, it allows for another trope, which is the we don't know what zombies are trope. This is very common. In many, many zombie stories, they exist in a world that is basically ours except for no one has heard of zombies. And a bite allows people to not know that they're going to transform into a zombie. Oh, Frank bit me and then I shot him, but he just bit me, so it can't be anything that bad. Until it turns out to be that bad. It's not readily obvious to characters who aren't familiar with zombies that a bite would mean that they are doomed. So once you have your type of zombies sorted out, what kind you want, what caused them, now you get to play around with some of the other popular zombie tropes. You can decide whether your story is an outbreak story or a post-outbreak story. I myself like outbreak stories the best of all. That is where we are getting the initial disaster of what is happening. The zombies have just arrived, nobody has a clue, shit's going down, it is non-stop stress. But the post-outbreak story can be fun as well, often set well after the zombie apocalypse has begun, often after society has kind of rebuilt itself around the fact that there are zombies. I can't remember the title of it right now, but future me will put it up on the screen. This is a really good example of a post-outbreak zombie story, where the zombies have been around for a while and humanity has figured out how to live with them, how to deal with them, but they are still a definite threat. I think that outbreak stories, though, are far more common because they are very stressful, very intense. Something like The Walking Dead, which takes place over a long period of time, could be considered both an outbreak and a post-outbreak story, depending on which season you're watching. The other two most common tropes that I think of when I think of zombies are, is it a road trip zombie story or a trapped somewhere zombie story? Both of these are great fun to write. Even though they are very common, I think they're common for a reason, because they're a good time. My story, Phoenix, is a trapped somewhere story, but something like, say, Zombieland is a road trip zombie story. In a trapped somewhere zombie story, the characters are usually, again, in the outbreak scenario, and they may begin by traveling, but eventually they end up somewhere like a hospital, a mall, a office building, a prison where they are stuck dealing with zombies outside and also dealing with interpersonal issues within, trying to figure out how to get out of there, or conversely how to survive as long as they can in there without zombies coming in after them. Those ones are great because of the tension of knowing that they are always surrounded, and it is only a matter of time before some lucky zombie figures out how to breach their defenses. And the humans inside become more and more desperate as they run out of food and supplies. And also, as humans in a small space who probably don't know each other very well, the tensions rise, interpersonal stuff starts happening. But what about a road trip story? Road trip stories can be fun too. Usually the characters in these stories are trying to get somewhere where they think there won't be zombies. So oftentimes they're fleeing to Canada or someplace colder because they believe the zombies will not be able to survive in those temperatures, or they are fleeing to some place like an island where they don't think there will be any zombies. These stories are fun because you never know when the characters are going to encounter zombies. They're on the road, so it might be smooth sailing for a while, and then all of a sudden you might come to a roadblock and there's zombies everywhere. If you have not played the video game Death Road to Canada, I highly recommend you do. It is a road trip zombie apocalypse story, and it is super fun. My husband and I love playing it together. It's really challenging though, so go in knowing that you're probably going to die your first or second or third time. Road trip stories can also be great because in a vehicle, because they're usually traveling in a series of vehicles, sometimes on foot though, you have a limited amount of supplies that you can carry with you, which means you need to make frequent stops to get more, and those frequent stops can be really dangerous. Also, fuel is an issue. Oftentimes in a zombie road trip story, the characters will end up having to switch vehicles more than once. And often they will go stretches on foot. Because it's been going for so long, The Walking Dead also has both of these tropes within it. It is sometimes a road trip story and sometimes a trapped somewhere story. One of the biggest tropes as well that zombie fiction uses is that hell is other people. Because as we often learn in zombie fiction, while the shambling undead are a threat outside, within, dealing with other humans is just as dangerous. The struggle for food, the struggle for resources, the struggle for protection, weapons is so great that you get a lot, sorry Nigel, I didn't mean to jab you with my thumb. You get a lot of intense interpersonal conflict. And that's one thing that I think people forget when they're thinking about zombie stories, if they don't read or watch or play a lot of them, is that the true enemy in most zombie fiction is other humans. And again, I keep going back to The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead does this a lot. And of course, going along with that, a trope that I love in zombie stories is found family, because your group that initially gets together can become incredibly tight and love each other like a family. They will go down fighting for each other. They will not leave a man behind. And I love that stuff. One trope that I am sick of seeing in zombie stories is that the animals always die. Oftentimes, the characters will pick up usually a dog along the way, and the dog will be useful for a minimal amount of time, but then it will die, to kind of prove the situation is serious without the creators having to kill a human. Although I was really salty in The Walking Dead where they killed a horse, and I was like, excuse you? I will say that this tendency inspired me to write my novelette, which is available on Wattpad, called The Gun Horse, which is about animals in the zombie apocalypse from the point of view of a horse and a dog who do not die, but in fact are useful in the zombie apocalypse. I wanted to create a world where animals could have a place in the apocalypse, essentially, and could be useful to their human companions and survivors. And so that is what the gun horse is all about. I'll probably be editing it again soon, so it'll be even smoother, but go check it out. I'm still quite pleased with it. If you're looking for other zombie video games to play, check out Telltale's The Walking Dead, even though unfortunately Telltale is gone now. Their Walking Dead series is definitely very enjoyable. Also check out Death Road to Canada. I've read a few zombie books that I'm going to be putting in the doobly-doo if future me remembers. We'll see if she remembers. She's really busy, okay? And there are so many zombie movies out there in the world. But I do want to recommend a little-known gem. It's called Pontypool, and it is really eerie and really spooky. I recommend, if you're not easily spooked, like I'm not easily spooked, I recommend you watch it with the lights out and you just really like get into it. It's a very original zombie type story, and I love it. There you go. Those are many of the zombie tropes that I love and how they can be well utilized in your story, or what they can bring to your story if you are considering using some of them, or if you want to subvert any of them. One thing I didn't really talk about with this video is tropes for characters in zombie stories. So if you liked this video and you're interested in learning about what type of characters you commonly find in zombie stories and what they bring to those stories, comment below and let me know. Remember that tropes are there for the subverting, but also if you do them well, they aren't necessarily a bad thing. Zombie fiction is possibly one of the tropiest fiction types out there, but it's that way for a reason, and I think those of us who love the tropes really don't get tired of seeing them. I hope this was helpful, fun, and informative. I hope that some of you are out there still writing zombie fiction, even if it is a dead genre. Oh yeah, Plants vs. Zombies. I'm also wearing that shirt, so I should promote that a little bit. If you guys liked what you saw here and you want to see more, check out my channel. I have a ton of content. If you want to watch a book trailer of my zombie book, future me might remember to link that below as well. But there is lots and lots of stuff here on my channel, including a few reviews of other zombie books that I have read. Many of them may involve Nigel hitting me in the face with his tail. It's what he does. He's been sitting here the whole time. I wish you could see him better. I can't really back the camera off anymore because of the size of this room. But he's just been sitting here like my little mascot this entire time. My little black cat mascot. He's ready for Halloween. He's in full spook mode. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to... Nigel's buggered off, he has. If you liked what you saw here and you want to support it monetarily, you can hop on over to my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get exclusive content that is not seen here on the regular channel. And if you think you might like my art and might want to wear it on your body, go check out my Redbubble store. There are some spooky designs over there and fall-themed designs, so don't miss out. I post brand new videos here Mondays and Fridays. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking. And I'll see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Hello, again. It's time for the shout-out. It's time to shout out my patrons, Lennox, Amanda, Irene, Jenny, Joseph, Kim, Lisa, Sabby Panda, Sam, Sarah, Savvy, and Scribbling Cat. As usual, I am still astounded that I have so many amazing patrons supporting me. You guys are the best.